To prolong my life in late-stage cancer, Emma and I bound ourselves to a co-marriage system. We successfully pursued the Wilson brothers, becoming enviable sisters-in-law. Yet 7 years later, my husband and son grew distant while she was imprisoned for bullying Lucas' first love. On her release day, she whispered take care before throwing herself into traffic. Crushed instantly by a semi-truck, Emma died with finality. The shock overwhelmed me. I collapsed as her body shattered. When I awoke, Lucas, my perpetually busy CEO husband, sat nearby. The crown prince of the Wilson Empire hadn't visited in 2 months. Awake? He said coldly. Ignoring him, I rushed downstairs. Ethan stood embracing a photo of Sophia, his smile tender. Their affectionate pose resurrected Emma's despairing eyes. Rage consumed me. I charged at Ethan, slapping him repeatedly. Sophia screamed, "How dare you hit him?" I backhanded her onto the couch. "Don't worry, tramp. You're next." Tears welled in Sophia's porcelain features. "Ethan." He shielded her. "Have you gone mad? That manipulative Emma poisoned your mind." My palm cracked across his cheek. "You killed her. Her only mistake was not dragging you adulterers to hell." Ethan paled. "Emma's dead? They didn't know. Today should have been her fresh start post-divorce. Instead, Sophia's taunts drove her to suicide." Lucas grabbed my wrist. "Olivia, stop this." I slapped him too. Where was this protectiveness when they tortured Emma? Emma schemed her way into our family. Lucas sneered. Why would she abandon her prize? Sophia added, "I saw her today. She's tricking you." Olivia. Ethan's eyes lit with hope. "Tell that gold digger I'll divorce her if she keeps causing drama." Their united front sickened me. Yes. Emma had accelerated their marriage after the drugged incident, not her doing. But to complete our pact and save me, she'd whispered shyly marrying Ethan was fate. "We'll have 6 children and grow old together." Instead, she got betrayal and blood-streaked hair. Agony lacerated my soul. I slapped Lucas hard across the face again and snarled, "If you insult Emma one more time, I'll kill you." Before the words fully left my mouth, a small figure came barreling into me like a cannonball, knocking me to the ground. Oscar glared at me furiously. "How dare you hit my dad? Get out. You're not welcome here." The pure hatred in Oscar's eyes felt like a physical blow to my chest. The truth was, there'd never been real affection between Lucas and me. From the beginning, I knew he only married me despite his mother's control. Desperate to survive, I'd willingly become his pawn. Before Oscar's birth, we'd maintained some semblance of civility, even occasional warmth. Foolishly, I'd imagined we might grow into an ordinary couple over time. Everything changed after Oscar's birth. The Wilson matriarch stole my child, claiming I was unfit to raise her grandson. They confined him to the family estate with wet nurses, permitting me only scheduled visits. My tearful pleas for custody were met with mockery. When I begged Lucas for help, he simply asked, "Do you honestly believe you could educate our son better than my parents?" To him, our child existed solely to become another corporate prodigy like himself, a living spreadsheet with no need for maternal bonds. That day extinguished whatever fragile affection I'd nurtured for him. Oscar's growing coldness toward me erased any remaining reason to stay. I would have left this gilded prison long ago if not for Emma. Now that she's gone, there's nothing keeping me here. Cutting all ties with the Wilsons, I threw myself into arranging Emma's funeral. The morticians couldn't reconstruct most of her body, but they'd preserved her beautiful face perfectly. Hot tears spilled down my cheeks as I whispered, "I'm so sorry, Emma. You only married that bastard Ethan to save me. This should have been my fate." They wheeled her into the crematorium. Though I thought I'd made peace with her death, watching the flames engulf her shattered me completely. 3 decades of memories flooded my mind, her laughter, the way she'd cling to my arm pleading, "You'll stay with me forever, right?" Something inside me snapped. "Emma, I'm coming with you," I murmured, lunging toward the incinerator. A worker grabbed me, his voice gruff but kind. "Don't do this, girl. Your friend wouldn't want this. The reality check came with a stinging self-inflicted slap. What was I thinking? Emma's killers still walked free. I couldn't die yet. An hour later, I wandered the funeral home in a daze, clutching Emma's ashes when theatrical sobs caught my attention. Through tear-blurred vision, I spotted Lucas's group gathered at the adjacent memorial hall. Sophia wept artfully against Ethan's shoulder. Were they actually here to mourn Emma? The audacity of bringing his mistress to her funeral. Ethan. I stormed over. How dare you parade this whore before Emma's ashes? Then I froze. Their memorial displayed a turtle's photo beside a tiny urn. Sophia cradled the container. Perfect tears glistening. Lucas's voice cut through the tension. Olivia. What's wrong with you now? His eyes narrowed at the urn in my arms. Is that your mother's remains? Not quite. Before he could react, Sophia piped up in her saccharine tone. Olivia. Why are you here? You're not still claiming Emma's dead, are you? No one here will believe you. You should leave now. I don't want any outsiders disrupting Emma's funeral. Ethan said coldly. Olivia charged forward in rage, knocking the urn from Sophia's hands. You couldn't care less when your own wife died, even mocked her. But you'll move heaven and earth for a damn turtle? Ethan. You're disgusting. Sophia collapsed to her knees, wailing. My Shelley, my poor Shelley. Olivia. How could you be so cruel? Cruel? Olivia sneered. That turtle's death was karma. You're the ones who deserve to die. Oscar suddenly lunged between them, glaring at Olivia. Stop bullying Uncle Ethan and Aunt Sophia. Aunt Sophia treats everyone like family, even pets. She's kind. You're just mean. Shut your mouth. You ungrateful brat. Olivia grabbed the boy's collar, shaking him violently. Emma doted on you. Loved you like her own. And you betray her? You're just like your blind uncles, rotten to the core. Sophia tearfully intervened. Olivia. How can you say that? Love isn't a crime. She clutched Olivia's arm dramatically. I'll leave. Take my unborn child and disappear forever. Just stop this madness. Olivia tried pulling free, but Sophia suddenly threw herself backward. Ethan caught her mid-fall, shouting, Sophia, as Lucas seized Olivia's arm. Let go. Olivia struggled, but Lucas snatched Emma's urn. Enough lies. He smashed it against the floor. As ashes scattered, Olivia screamed, I'll kill you. She scrambled to gather the remains, but Oscar kicked the urn across the room. Enraged, Olivia tackled the boy. Lucas dragged her off, eyes blazing. Attacking your own son? You've lost it. He hauled her into the adjacent funeral parlor, then froze. The dark, empty room held only a veiled portrait. Olivia broke free, yanking off the cloth to reveal Emma's shattered face in the photo. She hurled it at Ethan, cutting his forehead. See whose funeral this is? Blood dripped as Ethan stared at the photo, trembling. She can't be dead. 3 months in jail, just wanted to teach her a lesson. Lucas paled, guilt flashing across his face. Outside, Sophia suddenly gasped, clutching her stomach. The baby. Ethan hesitated, then scooped her up. You're my priority now. As they left, Olivia numbly gathered ashes. Sophia's parting sob carried through the door. Go comfort Emma. Later, Ethan muttered, avoiding Olivia's eyes. Alone with the urn, Olivia didn't look up when Ethan returned. Let me help. Don't touch her. She spat. Ethan knelt weeping as Sophia's ambulance wailed into the distance. Outside the shattered portrait frame, Emma's eyes stared emptily at the man who'd chosen his mistress over her, even in death. Just then, watching Lucas's retreating figure disappear into the distance, I felt overwhelming bitterness for Emma. This was the man she'd loved with her entire being. As Lucas dragged Oscar before me, forcing the boy to kneel in apology, I turned away coldly. Oscar, sensing the gravity of his mistakes, complied without resistance. Lucas frowned uncomfortably. I never imagined Emma would actually But you must understand, if she hadn't bullied Sophia before, we wouldn't have doubted her story. I studied this man whom time had treated so kindly. The same man who once made my heart flutter but now repulsed me like sewer vermin. Let's divorce, I stated flatly. His eyes widened. Have you lost your mind? A bitter laugh escaped me. You're the delusional one. Did you truly believe I'd stay after how you've all trampled on Emma's memory? What about Oscar? Lucas gestured to the sniffling boy. You've always wanted him back. Begged to raise him yourself. I glared at the child with undisguised revulsion. Keep your family's defective genes. I want no part of it. When funeral staff arrived, I walked past Lucas without a backward glance. At the cemetery, tracing Emma's smiling photo on the headstone. 30 years of shared laughter echoed painfully in my chest. Lucas intercepted me at the gates later. Dust streaked from rushing over. His eyes held fleeting compassion. But his words remained ice. I understand grieving your friend. But Emma chose suicide. Taking it out on an innocent child. Sophia's having threatened miscarriage. Isn't she? I cut him off. Here to demand justice for your precious mistress? His jaw tightened. Must you be so harsh? Without my protection, Mother would have destroyed you already. Of course the Wilsons embraced Sophia, the family's treasured adopted daughter. Now carrying their golden heir. Finished? I pushed past him. Then get lost. Lucas grabbed my arm, pulling me against his chest with desperate urgency. Olivia. Stop this madness. Come home. We'll help you heal. Oscar cries for you every night. Don't the living matter more than the dead? Hysterical laughter bubbled up. Tears spilling mid-chuckle. I shoved him violently. You arrogant fool. What makes you think you or that brat could ever compare to Emma? I married you for survival. Never love. Your entire family disgusts me. His face paled. What did you say? Tell Ethan I'll send congratulations when his bastard drops. I spat. Though I wonder, will Sophia's child even survive to see daylight? Memories flooded me, Emma's sacrifice replaying like poisoned film. She'd taken Ethan as lover during her hotel internship. Recognizing his drugged state but allowing the violation. She could have escaped. Yet chose to become his antidote to complete her plan faster, all to save me from drowning in medical debts. Sobs racked my body in the parked car until knuckles rapped my window. My breath caught at the familiar voice. Lev? Nathan stood there. Older but unmistakable, the third vertex of our orphanage trio. Emma's first love. My trembling fingers clutched his jacket. It's my fault she's gone. I ruined everything, your future together. Her entire life. Guilt and decades-old longing warred in his hazel eyes as he pulled me into an embrace that smelled of home. The dam broke completely, 30 years of buried feelings. Stolen choices. And suffocating regrets pouring out between us. Nathan Carter stood trembling before the crematorium. Tears scalding his cheeks as he choked out. Tell me, what really happened that year? I revealed the truth about the shared life support system. Though shocked, Nathan believed me, burying his face in his hands that shook with silent sobs. My own tears fell uncontrollably. Saying I'm sorry felt pathetically inadequate. This brilliant neuroscientist who'd nearly died from heartbreak years ago deserved better. When news of his accident had reached Emma, she'd collapsed in terror. Yet when he finally regained consciousness, that same woman who loved him beyond reason had hissed through tears. Since you're not dead yet, why not finish the job? Save us both the trouble. I watched despair roll down Nathan's face like molten silver. The Carter family dragged us from the hospital before I could explain. Emma's muffled weeping vibrated through my chest as I held her. Don't sacrifice your love for me, I begged. Let's tell Nathan the truth. But Emma only stroked my hair. Her voice tender as shattered glass. Silly girl. He's meant for greater things overseas. Even without you, this had to happen. Her lie hung between us. Sharp and fragile. Now Nathan crouched by the funeral urn, clutching it like a lost child. All these years, he rasped. I watched from shadows, praying for her happiness yet dying inside when she found it with Ethan. I blocked their news feeds like some lovesick coward, His knuckles whitened against polished marble. If I'd known Ethan was abusing her, I would have burned the world to save her. Instead, I let jealousy blind me until the system's mechanical voice interrupted my spiraling guilt. Sacrifice accepted. Nathan emerged from the memorial hall cradling rearranged ashes. Despite his own anguish, he gently wiped my tears. Olivia, don't waste this second chance. Emma fought too hard for it. When I asked if he hated me, he pressed the urn to his cheek like a lover's whisper. We'd all choose you. The girl who took beatings for us at the orphanage, nearly got expelled defending us, became family when mine adopted only me. His tears fell on cold stone. But my love, why not trust me? I'd rather be abandoned than know you suffered alone. I bit back the truth that soon he'd hold Emma again. These two souls who cherished me beyond reason deserved their eternity. As we left the funeral home, Nathan's eyes hardened to flint. What now? Justice. I stared at the Wilson Group skyscraper piercing the horizon. Ethan and Sophia will lose everything. Nathan's smile could have frozen hell. Let me handle it. The vengeance in his voice made demons shudder. I nodded slightly, understanding he needed this outlet more than I did. The Carters, a prominent and respected family in the capital's elite circles, had cultivated their scholarly reputation through generations. Though their wealth couldn't rival the Wilson Group's, their influence matched it completely. Nathan, though adopted, had earned the family's complete trust and affection. Now standing as their rising star, everything I'd fought tooth and nail to obtain came effortlessly to him. And time wasn't on my side. After finalizing our plans with Nathan, I retreated to my hotel. Lucas bombarded me daily through various numbers, each call accompanied by extravagant gifts. Viral videos showed him keeping vigil outside my apartment complex overnight, abruptly dethroning Sophia as the city's most envied woman. I threw every present into the dumpster, walking past him like a stranger during daytime encounters. When I finally dragged him to City Hall, he fled like a startled deer. No matter, he'd file those divorce papers himself soon enough. 1 week later, Lucas appeared at my doorstep with Oscar in tow. I opened the door to find father and son wearing identical hangdog expressions. What do you want now? I demanded coldly. Oscar misses you, Lucas said with forced calm. He wants to apologize. The boy who'd once sneered at me now stared at his shoes. I'm sorry, Mom. I shouldn't have disrespected you. Please give me another chance. I turned to Lucas, noting his awkward shuffle. Come home, he blurted. We miss having you around. Is that before or after you spent last night's auction showering Sophia with diamonds to lift her spirits? I countered. The man had mourned Emma for precisely 3 days before resuming his gilded courtship prenatal checkups, tropical getaways, nursery decorating. Her death had been merely inconvenient weather to him. Lucas mistook my disgust for jealousy. Those gifts were technically from you, he explained with infuriating logic. We're family now. Consider them peace offerings. Though nothing there suited you, next time I'll get you something special. You think this is about trinkets? I laughed bitterly. His frown deepened. What else would it be? The door slammed in his face. Fists pounded against steel. Olivia, how much longer will you keep this up? Lucas roared. I'm humiliating myself here. Then stop humiliating yourself and leave. Their argument drifted through the door as they retreated, Lucas berating Oscar for failing to handle me, the boy snapping about his father's obsession with Sophia. The viper's nest was eating itself alive. Weeks later, Nathan insisted on celebrating my birthday at an upscale bistro. My appetite vanished when Lucas materialized at our table, eyes blazing. So this is why you wanted divorce papers? He sneered. Found yourself a lover? The accusation hung between us. You never let me into your hotel room because he was there. Wasn't you? Lucas pressed. Sophia showed me the security footage. Did you really think the Carters would accept some unremarkable divorcee with no pedigree? Old me would have crumbled at these words. New me found them absurd. You're right, I agreed calmly. The Carters would never want someone like me. Then again, They don't share your appalling taste. Since when did you become so vicious? Lucas spat. Nathan's chuckle cut through the tension. You never knew her at all. Did you? After a pause. He twisted the knife further, but it's not your fault. The only reason Olivia married you was to survive. The woman you knew wasn't her true self. Lucas stared at me in confusion. Jaw tight. What does he mean? What's this about you marrying me to stay alive? This was actually the second time he'd heard this accusation. Though I'd never explained. Ignoring him, I grabbed my things to leave. He lunged after me. Olivia. Explain this right now. Nathan blocked his path. The two men locked in silent combat. Outside the restaurant, the Wilson family butler stood by my car with Oscar. The boy maintained his usual haughty demeanor, that perfect blend of aristocratic cruelty befitting the Wilson heir. Yet his eyes held something new, curiosity bordering on attachment. I dismissed it as pathetic neediness. When Oscar saw me leaving, he blurted out, "Mom? Could you make your pork stew eggs again?" The request transported me to last summer when Lucas' parents vacationed abroad. For 2 glorious weeks, I'd cooked elaborate meals Oscar devoured, only to have him sneer afterward. This looks like peasant slop. The servant's laughter still burned my ears. Now I gently ruffled his hair, watching hope kindle in his eyes. Darling, why settle for my cooking when your grandparents employ Michelin chefs? His face crumpled. Also, I've divorced your father. Don't bother me unless necessary. His choked sobs followed us down the street. I assumed Lucas would accept defeat after this display. Yet he reappeared the next morning. Shadows under his eyes. I want to apologize. He rasped. Sophia, she misunderstood your relationship with Nathan. I barked laughter. Misunderstood? Or deliberately framed me as cheating? He flinched. We both knew his sister orchestrated the affair to sabotage our marriage. She's spoiled. Lucas conceded weakly. But she regrets it. Says she only wanted to punish you for divorcing me over Emma. Even Oscar parroted, Aunt Sophia's sorry. Families forgive. Fuck your family. I spat, slamming the door. Their argument leaked through the wood, Lucas berating Oscar for failing to manipulate me. The boy snapping about favoritism toward Sophia. Petty theater. As winter deepened, we received news. Sophia's due date arrived. Nathan and I celebrated over hot pot. Steam fogging his red-rimmed eyes. Take care of yourself, I said casually. You too, Olivia, he replied, oblivious to the farewell beneath those words. That night, Sophia's child entered the world trembling. The infant refused milk, organs failing within hours. While Ethan paced the ICU corridors, someone called urgently, check the news. Now. He wasn't in the mood. But upon hearing the news involved Sophia, Ethan frantically opened the website. The next moment, his world shattered. The entire internet was flooded with Sophia's explicit photos with men of various ethnicities. Some sites even hosting her intimate videos. Police were already en route. Ethan's reputation fared no better. A viral video showed Emma calmly sipping tea when Sophia approached from behind, abruptly dousing her with scalding liquid. Emma stood indignantly, demanding an explanation, only to be slapped and punched in the abdomen. When Emma pushed Sophia's arm in self-defense, the latter dramatically collapsed despite minimal contact. Enter Lucas and his brother. Sophia immediately threw herself into Ethan's arms with crocodile tears. Without hesitation, Ethan backhanded Emma, forcing her to kneel through physical coercion. When she resisted, he kicked her knees and dragged her to the poolside by her hair, repeatedly dunking her head while spewing profanities. The video's comments section overflowed with curses condemning Ethan as scum and wishing both siblings painful deaths. All evidence had been uncovered and leaked by Nathan. Collapsing to the floor, Ethan looked up as I approached in stilettos. How's your child, Ethan? I taunted. Before he could respond, the doctor emerged, regretfully stating, Mr. Wilson, your son tested positive for multiple controlled substances. We couldn't. You knew. Ethan rasped, eyes bloodshot. I smirked. Did you think I'd forgive you after Emma's death just because you shed fake tears at her grave? His lips blanched. Fun fact, she was pregnant when you drowned her in that pool. Ethan's pupils dilated, knees buckling as he choked on silent denials. Ask your precious sister. She targeted Emma precisely for this. Congratulations on murdering your own child. By nightfall, headlines exploded. Ethan and Sophia had leapt from a bridge onto concrete below. Their bodies lay shattered like their victims' hopes. I slipped into Emma's favorite dress. The system prompted a host. Revenge complete. Proceed with exchange? Months earlier, it offered to swap my life for Emma's through this new mission. Nathan could never know he'd stop me. Proceed. Warning, your existence will be erased. Even your son will vanish from collective memory. Confirm? Confirmed. Light dissolved around me, revealing Emma's radiant smile. She was trapped inside my body, while my soul detached itself, quietly awaiting dissolution. She struggled desperately to break free, sobbing, "Why are you so foolish?" I smiled at her. "Silly girl, because you're worth it." Then I vanished. Oscar disappeared too. Nathan rubbed his throbbing temples, the pain subsiding after a moment. Shaking his head, he attributed it to exhaustion. Upon entering his home, his childhood sweetheart and wife came rushing from the living room. "Honey, you're back," she exclaimed joyfully. Nathan pulled her into an embrace, tears unexpectedly welling up. He couldn't explain this surge of emotion, only that hearing honey felt like reclaiming something he'd waited lifetimes to hear. Meanwhile, at the Wilson family estate, Lucas sat consumed by grief over his brother's death when a disembodied voice echoed in his mind, "Your wife no longer exists. Would you like your memories of her erased?" Lucas' blood turned to ice. "No," he roared. "I'll never forget her." Before his eyes, Oscar dissolved like soap bubbles. The man sprang up frantically calling Oscar. Oscar. Only to be met with bewildered stares. No one remembered any Oscar. Lucas descended into madness, collapsing to his knees while clutching his head. "Who are you?" he screamed at the emptiness. "Bring back my wife and child. I'm begging you." A faint breeze ruffled his hair, like some unseen entity scoffing as it blew past him.